Okay.
Hello, hello, my sweet fellow humans of the world. Welcome to the Back on Track podcast, brought to you by I Am Somebody. I am your host, Jennifer Bulbrook, and I am here dedicated to offering you a unique experience through inspiration by showing you that you are somebody. And in this space, I share personal experiences. We discuss serious issues such as all things mental health, and we always work through the process of having our thoughts serve us by incorporating new techniques into our daily lives. And I am somebody, we own who we are because we are somebody. And today, not only do I have a very, very special guest, I have like what you would say a celebrity in the house. And so we have Chance from A Life After Lockup, Love
Whoop,
After
whoop.
Lockup. And yes, thank you, Chance. I am so excited to have you here. For those who don't know, Love After Lockup, Life After Lockup is a reality show about people who, I guess, meet. Well, one is in jail, prison, and the other one is usually out in the real world, like in the free world. And they kind of meet, and we just follow their journey, and then they get out, and we follow their journey some more, and it's an awesome show. But anyhow, this is where Chance is from, and he had met Taylor, and Taylor isn't going to be with us today. She's not feeling that well because she's going to have a baby soon. But anyway, we have Chance with us. Welcome, Chance. Thank you so
No
much for
problem.
coming on. I really do appreciate you coming on and talking to
Good
us
girl.
as he's got his doggy licking him all over.
Good.
He's excited too.
Thank you, darling. So, hello, everyone. Thanks for having me on the show today. I really, look forward to indulging in some of the, unseens and behind the scenes of some things that I can.
Yeah, for sure. Like before, like I even get started, I guess I should say, like if I ask a question or say something and you're like, don't want to talk about it, or for whatever like filming reasons you can't, just be like, nope, and we'll just switch right through it and move on to the next thing.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay, so I guess like let's start off with maybe telling the viewers a little bit about yourself and who you are, your journey, and how you came on to the show.
Okay. So, basically, well, I robbed a bank. Um, I was high, of course. Wasn't in my right mind. The bank that I actually stole money from is a bank that I actually had an account at, and it's actually the branch that I opened my account at. So it was pretty ridiculous. It's stupid. Um, just say no to drugs. Say no to anything called Xanax. Okay. Um, I wish that I would have never taken the prescription from a doctor. And I can't solely blame it on that because I've done drugs in my past, but when you could get them legally, it kind of like gives you a bona fide excuse. And I've had loved ones tell me, and I'm like, hey, look, who are you to go against a doctor? And I would, oh man, my case was so strong, until I went to court, and I didn't have a strong case anymore. So at any rate, I did almost a decade in prison for 2 counts of second-degree robbery. And in that time, during the end of my sentence, I met Taylor, um, who is just an amazing woman. And it's ironic. Okay, look, I was talking to plenty of women while I was incarcerated, and Taylor knows. When I started talking to her, I told her about some of the girls that I was already talking to, and you know, I for a lot of people that don't know, I never had a mom growing up. So as I would speak to these women, a lot of them would try to cover up their past or mistakes to make themselves look better, or lie to make themselves look better. And I'm like, come on, man, I'm in prison. Just be real with me. And Taylor was real with me. But as I started to see how good of a mother she was, how caring, how much she sacrificed for her children, that's what really drew me to her as a woman. because I really admire them. So that's basically what actually attached me to Taylor. And then I started growing on her.
Mhm.
Um, one call a day turned into two calls a day, and next thing you know, it was 5 calls a day, 10 calls a day. How many? She said 50 calls a day.
Wow. Love it. That's
Oh
awesome.
God,
And so
that
who
was
reached out to
amazing.
who? So I guess she would have reached, yeah, how does that work?
Okay, so Taylor's ex-boyfriend was in the same dormitory as I was.
Okay.
Okay. Now we weren't like friends, we were more acquaintances. I did different things for hustles, like as far as like selling tobacco or doing tattoos, drawing, painting, just different things that you know so that's how I met a lot of people in there. But now he was getting out and he was supposed to do something for me, and he gave me a number to get a hold of him at, and so I called a couple weeks after he got out, and at that point Taylor answered, and she's like, I haven't seen him, he ditched, and I was like, oh wow, sorry to hear that. So at that point I was already tied up. I had people expecting me to call on a daily basis, friends of mine and stuff.
Mhm.
And so about another month went by and I called again just to see if he, would eventually come back home. And he did not, and at that point I spoke with her a little bit more, and I was like, well, wow, I said, damn, this girl's doing everything, on her own, So I don't know, it was just I don't know, I just found myself getting attached to Taylor. Who can't get enough Tay Tay in their life? Not this guy.
I love it. And she does seem like a remarkable woman from what I've been able to see and watch of her. And her, like when you say she's a great mom, like she's a
Oh
fabulous
yeah.
mother. Like that just shows all over for sure. So let's talk a little bit more about you and your like the addiction. You said that your addiction was drugs and that led you to, rob some banks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about that journey of yours.
Okay, so oh God, my addiction. It started really back in 2003. Um I I got into an accident, car accident, and um I was getting prescribed Percocets, Vicodin, Lortabs. Um I went in for a minor back surgery, and they were giving me the Darastegic fentanyl patches, and at that time I was married, with my ex-wife and my two children. My children are grown now. They're 19 and 21, Ethan and Emma. Um, so basically, Tabitha, which is my ex-wife, she left and took the kids because I was just so addicted. And that's when I used my best excuses as far as like, I have a prescription. And it got to where she was monitoring my pill usage. Like she would look at my bottles in the cabinet. And me being slick, I would buy them off the street and take those throughout the day. And then I would take my prescription as prescribed. It was just retarded how I destroyed my life and was doing so good. Um, my life was on a tailspin ever since then. You know, um, so she left, and then I met another woman who was a little older than I was, and a little more seasoned. Um, and some of my older friends, they showed me about meth and cocaine. Um, but I can't blame anybody for real. It was always my choice. It's just harder to say no when you don't feel like you have a reason to say no. When the whole time the reason was inside me. Um, at any rate, yeah. So my truck actually got repossessed. What was this? 2004. and I was up for like 2 weeks on meth and cocaine mixed, and I thought it would be a great idea to just jump the fence of the car lot and take my truck back, that same night. And I went on a high speed chase with the cops, through a couple counties. It was just, I wasted so much time in prison. I got 66 months for Grand Theft
Wow.
Auto and burglary obstruction,
Wow.
for stealing my own truck back from a car lot, you know, and then, time just goes by. And when you're addicted and when you're an addict, every day that goes by, it makes it harder for you to explain why. Like, where were you? When your kids you think that's what they're going to ask, but they're not.
Mhm.
They're not going to ask where you been. They're going to be glad you're here now.
Yeah.
And I miss so much time in my children's lives, in my family. Um, but that's all in the past, and I don't let the past control me any longer, because that's another addict's excuse, is the things that we've gone through.
Yeah.
You know, um, sometimes we don't have excuses though. There was a lot of times when I didn't have any excuse and I got high anyway. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
it's like, well, I would just look for excuses to get high. Oh, that would be my goal. Find an excuse to get high today.
Yeah.
And then at night, I would hate myself. Every night, I hated myself. I wanted to die. I actually attempted suicide. I didn't attempt it. I actually did it. Um, and I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for a cop who pulled up, and there was blood squirting all over the window. I was just so far gone on different drugs. My brain, it was not me. And I don't even know if this is on public information or not, but there's just so much that can tear a person down. And it's so hard when you start playing that game. We start playing ball with the devil. You can't just quit that game.
Mhm.
When he gets you in that headlock. Hey, hush. Yep. Kids out there playing, kids in here trying to play. That's Rex. So, at the end of the day, I always had everything to live for, but I never knew it. You know, the biggest, oh, I'm sorry. Stop, boy. Wait. The biggest lie is being told that, or being made to think or feel like you lost everything. You can't get it back. You know, and that's one of the things that just held me down for the longest time. I felt like I had lost it all, couldn't get it back.
Mm.
You know, like, what's the point? Why even try? And that's where he wants us to be. That's where, the devil, the evil powers that be, or whatever somebody wants to say. I mean, that's just how I felt. Um, I don't know, but then I started to open my eyes, and I had somebody help me open my eyes. Actually, you know, I went head first into a concrete sidewalk, from 20 feet. A guy tried to rob me. I had money, I had drugs, I had girls, I had everything, but I didn't have anything at all. I felt so empty inside. Every day, I hated myself, and a guy tried to rob me, and I went off a balcony, broke my neck, my back, in Lake County, Florida. And when I woke up out of the coma, I could barely talk, couldn't walk. You know, so crazy. And then again, all the prescriptions just kept coming. You know, so it was really hard to shake. But at that point, I started to, like, look around and realize that I could have died several times just then. Um, and then I went to prison again, which was for that was for the burglary, restructuring, grand theft auto. So before I talk myself into a circle here, so easy to do. Just, I haven't really looked back on any of this in so long. there's just so much that, so much I gave away for nothing,
Hmm.
you know.
When you look back on it, what comes up to mind? How does it feel?
When I look back on it, it's kind of like leaving the casino with nothing. You walk in there, you got Taylor, will you yell at them, please? Um, when you walk into the casino with like a grand, what you don't realize is when you go to the casino with a grand, you're ready to lose a grand. But nobody
Mhm.
ever plans on losing it. But you don't realize you're ready to lose it.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize everything I had on the plate that I was offering up to lose, with the simple decision of just getting high or drinking and driving,
Mhm.
or anything like that. Nobody really realizes what you're putting on the plate, that you're gambling with your life, somebody else's life, you know. The things that my children went through while I wasn't there, that I could have helped them avoid, or just we don't realize that stuff, but looking back on it, it just feels like leaving the casino with nothing,
Mhm.
and you feel horrible. And then you get in your vehicle and you realize you're almost out of gas,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Oh man, what did I do?" And it gives you every reason to want to give up, but just don't. Just
Mm.
hunker down, get back to work, and take it one day at a time. You'll get out of this hole. It's not over with just because you made a bad decision. But don't gamble with unless you know what you're gambling with for, you know. And then even then, to gamble with somebody else, you know,
Mhm.
under the influence of anything, it's just, head taken a life. And it's hard. It's hard to live with yourself. In a lot of
Yeah.
situations, some of the stories I heard, I don't think I could live with myself. I really don't.
So what helped you turn it around? What helped you see that, you had a reason to say no?
I'm not even gonna lie. It's so hard to do on your own. Um, but for me, I mean, and a lot of people are gonna probably boo me right now, but if it wasn't for the Missouri Department of Corrections, okay, look, I did time in Florida. I've done some hard time in Florida. Um, but in Missouri, they have all these different programs. And it was hard to get into because they have these waiting lists and things are a little backwards. I had to lie, steal, and almost cheat, or lie, cheat, and almost steal to get into these programs. But I took ICVC, ICTC. So ICVC is Impact on Criminal Victims. And that's when I really started to open my eyes and realized that the real victims of my life aren't just me. It wasn't just the bank, you know, it was my children, my friends, like people that my real friends. Okay, because you're gonna have people in your life that say they're your friends, but the first little thing that happens, they're not there, they don't know you, they don't want to be by you, they won't even come to your baby showers or anything like that. My real friends who stuck by me and stood by me, who were embarrassed by my actions, because I have some prominent friends that are like lawyers and doctors and bail bondsmen, and you know and they actually stood by me, and yeah, he made a mistake, and it was because of drugs, or they just said, yeah, that was him at that party, yep, that's my buddy Chance, and they kind of have to hold their head down for a minute. My family, my dad was always proud of me, always did so good in school. He made sure I didn't miss a day. I had perfect attendance, like a free babysitter. Come on, you're going to school, boy. Um so you know realizing the real victims in my life, my past, really started to open my eyes, and I just had this saying, I don't want another victim in my life.
Mhm.
I don't want just I don't want to make victims of anybody,
Yeah.
and that's why, like, coming into Taylor's life was really a real commitment for me,
Hmm.
because I'm not just going to come into her life. She's got 3 daughters, and now we have a boy on the way.
Yeah.
And um, I'm not just going to come in and get them to love me and then leave or mess it up, you know? So that was a real thing, like, that's a big choice a lot of people don't think about when
Hmm.
somebody has children, it doesn't matter how old they are, because they're still going to get attached to you. And one way or another, if you fuck up, they can become a victim. If they're going to have their heart broke, they're going
Hmm.
to make choices based off of their heart being broke by you, and I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, get uncomfortable.
Yeah. And like I won't lie, like there are people out there that were very skeptical about you and Taylor and whether you were there for the
For
right
sure.
reasons and all of that. And so like how did you and Taylor deal with like those criticism and judgments and those harsh, critics out there?
All I'm going to say is this. Out of all the assumptions anybody can make, you know, um, it's in the mind of the beholder. I might sit here and say, oh, he's just going to get drunk and do this and that, because that's what I've been a victim to in my past. My dad was an
Mhm.
alcoholic for a long time, and I vowed to never be an alcoholic. And on several occasions, I've almost become one, and probably was one.
Mhm.
Um, but in somebody else's life, where they were a victim to certain things, that would be their fear. So I don't want to sit here and just say these people were sick and demented, because some people were victims of that.
Mhm.
Maybe she might go out. She's standing by the door. Yeah, don't ask her. She ain't gonna tell you. Sorry. You feeling better, honey? You wanna say hi here in a minute, maybe? She might say hi in a minute.
Okay.
So at any rate, dealing with those critics, it was. I'm not gonna say I didn't go off on a few of them, because I did. It's like, come on, man, really?
Mhm.
Sitting here trying to change. Well, not trying. I'm changing my life. I have changed my life around.
Yeah.
And I've made a bunch of bad decisions since I've gotten out, though. Just, it's hard to do a decade in prison and then not being experienced with credit, or just different things,
Mhm.
and then trying to get in and handle it. It's like, okay, I don't really know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
After all, I thought I did, but yeah.
But you admit
So
it, and that's what's important, right? You're able to recognize and admit it, even if it's after the fact, because a lot of people don't even ever can ever see it or admit it or anything. And so the fact that you can is like huge.
yeah, but now I wish that, like, I would have held off on a few things and played my hand a little differently. You ever throw away those cards? Like, I'm
Hmm.
sure a lot of people watching, you played
Yeah.
Texas Hold'em,
Yeah.
or you just threw away that card, that would have changed everything,
Yeah.
and everything would have been different right now. But it's the same thing, though. It's like when you're in the mind of an addict, or when you're addicted, and if you would have just done this would not be here. Now what do I do?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck it. Let's just go keep getting high. Or let's just keep running it in the hole. No, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
And that's what I would strongly just suggest that you don't do. Don't let that take a hold of you and dictate your decisions for tomorrow. Okay. Don't be dictated. Don't be manipulated, and situations and circumstances can really have a strong impression on you.
Hmm.
But speaking of that, though, speaking of that, there is a lot of other things, though, like constructive criticism that I got from the base. We TV. Um, I would not have progressed as much as I have had it not been for the fans, or for even the criticisms that I got from the realistic viewers,
Yeah.
that actually gave some real meat to, here, look, this is
Right.
what you're doing wrong. You're gaslighting, you're doing this, you doing I was doing all those things and probably still do. Not as bad though. I'll tell
Hmm.
you now, not as bad. But coming out of prison, being around a bunch of hostile, violent guys for the past 10 years, you know, um, it's hard to not do that stuff. And then
Yeah.
once you do it for that long, it's just breaking that is like I have to realize, hey, look, I'm not around some tough guys. I'm around some tough girls.
Yeah.
And they're but they are sensitive,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but had it not been for the base, I wouldn't have progressed as much as I did because it really helped me look at myself, look at the things that I was doing. I didn't take it as name calling. I took it as constructive criticism, and I was susceptible to that.
Mhm.
So thank you, everybody. And I've said this on a lot of WeTV fan pages. Thanks to everybody out there who supported and didn't support and actually had the balls to take the time and say, hey, look, this is what you're doing wrong, and tell me about myself, because I look at that.
Yeah.
I did, and that's what helped me grow.
I love it. And you're right. And it's usually the criticism in that if you can actually look inside it and see some truth to it and then grow from that, that's what really, really counts. And so I was wondering, like, what would you say to those people out there who like are getting like prescriptions from their doctors and that and just think it's okay because it is a prescription from their doctor, even though now they're like, maybe also grabbing some from the street as well.
Yeah, because I guarantee you're running. If you are getting a prescription from your doctor, you're probably running out a little too soon.
Yeah.
Um, all I know is it never really helped with pain. It never did. I can sit here and I would have shoulder pain. Like I would have real pains and they weren't the pains I was telling the doctor I was having.
Hmm.
Okay. And whenever I took 5 Percocets, I would take 10 milligram Percocets and wash them down with 2 shots of vodka, and they would never help that pain. I would get high as a kite,
Yeah.
but I would still be in pain.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you want to avoid just some real heartaches, you feel like you're in control because you're getting up, you're going to work. You feel like you're not going to make a bad decision because you're smart. You're taking these pills, maybe washing them down with a beer or some wine, or even if all you drink is water, and you're functioning, you're going to work, you feel like you're doing good. They just call that a functioning addict. And it's not a
Yeah.
problem until it is,
Yeah.
and usually when it becomes a problem, it's too late. All I can say is it takes 1 second to close your eyes while you're driving and you're in the ditch. I've been
Yeah.
there, I've done that. I'm so thankful. I thank God every day that I never hurt anybody in my vehicle. Um, but I cry sometimes because the family that, aren't around anymore that helped raise me, that I could have been there for. I could have been there for them. Well, when they were in need, but I was too busy taking my pills, driving my truck to work, thinking I was somebody doing something. And now I lost it all. I lost it all. And now here I am starting all over again. But the only difference is they're not there anymore, you know? So if you want to avoid making any of those mistakes, it's a lot easier to just say no. I tell you, it is. They've got other things, prednisone for like, you know, serious muscle pain, and just I'm not a doctor, so I can't sit here and
Yeah.
suggest anything, but things that worked for me may not work for you.
Hmm.
But I do know the pain pills, they never did help anything that I was in really pain for. They
Right.
just got me high,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they almost took my life.
Yeah. They take too many people's lives. That's for sure. So you had mentioned like when you were doing them, you were getting a prescription, plus you were getting some on the street. And do you have any other like signs that you should tell people that they should watch out for if they have a loved one that might be on prescriptions or any drugs really? Like, any
Uh,
signs that you think you would look for?
so The major signs that I look for are, either pupils being dilated, like, or um, um, what's the other word? Restricted, or like when the pupils are dilated or not
Yeah.
dilating, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and then like the red nose or the red marks on the face from itching.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that's from like heroin or opiates. Um, and then there's the other things like if they're smoking cheaper cigarettes, you know, taking things to the pawn shop, selling things, you know, stealing, if you know, which it's kind of hard at that point. At that point, it's already too late. They've been doing it. If they're already stealing, then it's a dead giveaway. You know, staying up all times of night, sleeping in throughout the day. A lot of even downers. We like to stay up at night while everybody's sleeping, and get high on that stuff, and then sleep all day.
Mm.
So staying up for days at a time, that's another sign. You know, um, oh, my battery's getting. Oh, Liza, where are you gonna get that for me, girl? I bet you were slobber all over. There we go. Uh, I'm telling you, it's so hard to really think about what the signs would be until they're in front of you. Like I
Mm-hmm.
can look somebody in their face and I know if they're drunk, I know if they're on pills, opiates, or like uppers like cocaine or meth, you know? But as far as like naming the signs, yeah, nodding off and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's like when I was in prison, Taylor was, she would tell me what some people that were around her were doing, and I'm like, oh yeah, they're getting high, you know?
Mm.
And she'd be like, no, I don't think they are. And I'm like, babe, they're up all night. They're sleeping all day. They're not going to work. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the only question I have is where are they getting the money for it?
Yeah, yeah. But what do you say to those people that have loved ones that they can see that are dozing off and are having those signs that you just talked about? What could those loved ones do to help them?
So, as much as I hate to admit it, man, the the only thing that I believe you can do is just that real rock solid. Take the sissy mitts off, put the leather gloves on, and give them tough love. I'd never had that in my life. Nobody ever like stood like I never had a rock to just bump into, a
Mm-hmm.
post that would not fucking move out of my way. Everything was just so easy for me to go do because my dad was so busy raising the other kids, and I was allowed to just go after a certain age, do whatever the hell I wanted, you know. And I never had anybody. And then when I went to jail, they didn't really do shit for you there, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And like I said, some other prisons, like I went, and half the time I got out, it was worse, than it was when I went in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really gonna take that tough love. Sometimes you have to watch somebody live on the street. You know, Liza, was that you, babe? Was that the baby? Taylor's blaming the baby. So now she's blaming me. So that's fine. You can blame me, honey. um, um, you know, that's what I wish I had sometimes was just that tough love. If my grandpa wouldn't have passed away when I was younger, like so young, or my uncle Bobby, somebody that just would have grabbed me up by my neck, shook me a little bit, maybe slapped me around some. Um, I don't know. It was hard for me though because like I learned how to work young, so I never had a problem like sleeping in my car or on the side of the road for 2 days and go to work. And then before you know it, I was renting a place, always taking care of my habit, myself, and really nobody else. You
Hmm.
know,
Yeah.
um, tough love. That's all I could say for real. That's what it takes. When somebody's in that grip and they can't realize that what they're doing is going to cost them everything, their life, and hurt everybody around them 10 times more than it would ever hurt yourself. If they're not willing to quit at that point, then it's going to take tough love, you know,
Yeah.
because you know why? I would rather slam the front door in their face than close that coffin.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, I get so teared up because, you know, I've had several family members, pass away. And the most recent was my cousin, and her birthday was the day before mine. So we always celebrated together. Um, you know, when you're locked up, like you're used to, like, just you let people go,
Yeah.
but you know when you get out, you'll see them again.
Yeah.
She passed away while I was locked up, and since I've gotten out, I still haven't come to terms with the facts that I can't just call her up, you know. And before, and I would say this before you ever have to deal with that, slam the door in their face,
Yeah.
kick them out, don't loan them no money. If they need a ride to work, maybe give them a ride to work, you know. But it depends. I mean, what are they working for?
Hmm.
Maybe they don't need a job. Maybe they need rehab. You know,
Yeah.
maybe they need something else than a way that's going to pay for their drugs.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
so
And so
treacherous,
many
man.
people are like, I need the job. I can't go to rehab. I need the job because I need to pay my rent.
Yep,
But all their money is going to the pills. So
exactly.
really, you can take some time off from the job to get the help you need.
And I can personally tell you, like, I wanted to get high. I knew what was going to happen,
Hmm.
you know, and it's so much easier to just give into that after you've already lost like your children. And it's like when you slip down that slope and you're down there,
Hmm.
you know, it's so easy to just give into it at that point. But like, I wanted to get high, and some people do, you know, and then you don't want to get high no more because you're tired of it. um so it's just so hard, and it's so dangerous because you're playing Russian roulette. You know, when you want to get high and you're doing it, you don't know what you're putting in your arm. You don't know what you're snorting up your nose. You don't know what's really in that pill you're taking. You know, if it's got fentanyl in it,
Yeah.
if it's really a Xanax or really a Roxy or an Oxy. You know, it's so treacherous because, yeah, they're going to work and they're spending all their money on drugs.
Yeah.
I've done it. You know, I've done it for a long time, and it's just, what do you do? What can you do when somebody wants to beat their head against the wall?
Hmm.
What can you do? Lock them down, strap them down, and then as soon as you let them go, they're going to want to beat their head against the wall again.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I just don't know what could have been done for me. Supervised, supervised getting high. I don't know, man.
Hmm.
I mean, they have that in Amsterdam, but and some people actually. I heard that ayahuasca. Um, I was gonna try that.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I heard that a lot of people take that, and it's like a bunch of herbs that cause you to hallucinate. But when you come out of your hallucination, you don't want to smoke cigarettes anymore, or it breaks drug addiction. And I've heard that of that working,
Hmm.
you know. But thankfully, I beat my head up against enough iron doors so I didn't have to try that.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you did. And like I could see like even throughout the show just the progress that you made. Like you had done so much work before the show, but now it's just like even throughout the show the progress that I can see you growing as you are, cuz coming out like you said it's a whole new world to you right now, right?
Oh
Like you were
God.
locked up, you it's a whole new world. So you have to adjust so much. And so that on top of like, really making sure that you stay clean and true to who you want to be in that is a huge struggle. And I think you've been doing like a great job personally. I think you've been doing great. And I know Taylor thinks you're doing great as well. And I just hope that you feel proud of yourself as well.
Well, I don't want to create any facades. I mean, just being honest for once in my life,
Mm-hmm.
this go here, I'm giving it all I've got. But then I can't sit here and actually say I've really given it all I got, because there's been a lot of days I wake up and I'm not motivated. I don't feel inspired. Um, I feel lazy, and then I'll go to work, and sometimes you feel underappreciated, or sometimes what I'm feeling ain't even true. It's like I might feel like I don't like they don't appreciate me, but really they do.
Yeah.
You know, and it just takes your drive a little bit. And then not being responsible with money. Um, just a number of things, So I've been making mistakes daily, but thank God I'm sober, like I'm
Mm-hmm.
clean. Um, I have that. Sometimes I felt like I worked harder when I was getting high because it gave me like a reason, but really, I never did. I'm definitely working harder now,
Yeah. Yeah.
and better work. Uh, I don't know. I think all in all, yes, I'm doing good.
Yeah.
I don't want to take all the credit away from myself, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah, like you're
should
sitting
do
there, we're
better.
trying, like you're taking all the credit away from yourself, and just accept that like mistakes are going to happen, and that's part of the journey. And that doesn't make it mean that you're failing in any way or that aren't moving forward just because you're making mistakes. That's part of it.
Yeah.
If you aren't making mistakes, then that would mean that you're not moving forward, right? So those mistakes mean you're moving forward.
Well, I guess I can't know everything.
No,
You
even though
know,
you want to.
God, I mean, I guess I'm glad I don't, but you know, um, it's difficult, man. It's really difficult, like being sober, living an everyday, you know, go to work, come home life,
Yeah.
working for your money instead of like getting it illegally,
Hmm.
um, and then budgeting. I mean, I don't think I've ever really budgeted before.
No.
I don't. I always just I would work and then I would get, drugs. I would probably sell some to buy more,
Hmm.
to provide for my habit. And then I always had money. So I would just pay the bills as they came and not really even think about it.
Yeah.
But now, um, yeah, working by the hour, you know, living the legal life. I mean, I'm proud of it. Definitely have something to show for it.
Mhm.
So, and then I got this old fine woman right here. Are you gonna come up here and say hi, honey? You
You
feeling
have a
okay?
beautiful family
Oh,
for
thank you.
sure.
What is it? Oh, that's mine. I so I'm trying to quit smoking. I've got this vape here, my little elf bar.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
And how's
so
that going?
it's I smoke vape and I smoke cigarettes.
Oh, so not so well, not so good.
Yeah, I think I just need to quit cold turkey.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know.
that's what I did.
Oh
Yeah,
wow, thank
over
you.
3 years ago.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
I
It's
should have
all in
never
the
even
mind.
started
It's just
smoking anymore.
retraining your mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's like if you want to do it, you'll quit.
Hmm.
If you don't want to quit, you won't.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you need to or any of that. If you don't want to quit, you're not going to.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with an addict. Like I would talk to guys in prison about, hey, what are you gonna do when you get out? I'm like, and don't even give me a load of shit how you're gonna try to do this and try to do that. You know right now if you're gonna get high or not.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, I'm probably gonna get high. I'm like, well, okay then.
Yeah.
But remember, once because you could be clean for 6 months, but and you think, oh well, I've been clean all this time. I can quit anytime I want to. I got it under control now.
Mm-hmm.
But the minute you take that first hit, your clean time is gone, and you immediately feel like shit. You immediately think, oh, well, now I done lost all my clean time. I might as well keep getting high,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
That's how you blow it over time.
Yeah. I
And
always say it's easier to stay clean than to get clean.
absolutely, yep,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And you always feel better.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things I do with the kids. Like we'll go ride go karts. We do all these things, and you get like an adrenaline rush. I mean, being happy is one of the best highs I've ever had in my life. You
Yeah.
know, I just wish I could do it without like maxing out a credit card. You know,
Yeah.
Jeez, Christmas is coming. Oh my God. Well, let's go back to work tomorrow. We'll work it out.
Yeah. I won't keep you any longer. I know it's been about an hour and I said I would keep you only about an hour. So I do want to thank you so much for coming on though. Like really thank you for being here. I had a really um great time getting to know you. I haven't really got to really hear about your story in depth like this and that. And so I know I really appreciate it. I know the viewers are going to appreciate it, especially the ones that actually watch you every week. I do have a question. So are you going to be coming back for another season or are we allowed to talk about
I
that?
don't know if I'm allowed to.
Okay.
If I don't know if I'm allowed to say if I am or not.
Okay.
I don't know if they posted anything or not. But I know I'm not allowed to talk about when the baby's due date is.
Okay.
Am I? The due date? Oh, so I'm allowed to say the baby's due date is November 23rd.
Oh my gosh, that's
Oh
so
yeah.
close.
Am I allowed to say if we're having a boy or a girl? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm allowed to say we're having a boy. Yeah, because of
Oh,
the gender
so
reveal.
sweet. A little boy. Oh my gosh. And that's
Oh
so
yeah.
close. November. Oh my gosh. Are you guys ready?
I know. I'm stressing. Let me tell you something right now. If y'all think that I haven't thought about getting high or been tempted to get high,
Mhm.
I definitely have. Okay, I definitely have thought about it. I have definitely been tempted to. There's a lot of times when I just said, you know what? Oh, what happened? Uh, there we go. We're back. There's a lot of times I definitely thought about, um, how easy it would be to, flip a brick or, do something like that. And I just keep saying, no, we're going to do it the right way. I'm not going to let these girls down. I'm not going to let Taylor down. I'm not going to let my family down, the ones that are still with me today, my children.
Mhm. Good for
So,
you.
we're just going to do it the right way. And we got animals that look up to us and
Yeah.
kids look
One
up to
step
us.
at a time, one day at a time,
Yeah,
1 minute
absolutely.
at a time.
Well, I'm going to photobomb Taylor over here. Oh, baby. Yes, say hi.
Hi, mama.
Hi.
You feeling sicky? I remember those
Always.
days. But soon you're going to have a baby boy. So
I
exciting.
know.
All
Yeah.
right. I'll leave her alone.
Okay.
She's been feeling
Yeah.
queasy.
All right. So before we
And
sign off, is there anything you would like to say to the viewers or share with the viewers or anything about anything at all or where they can find you or anything?
yeah, sure. Number one, I would just like to thank everybody for, their support, for the positivity. It's always been encouraging, like I'll wake up and I'll have like a bunch of, little heart notifications on Instagram. So it's Chance underscore Taylor underscore love after lockup on Instagram. And then Taylor underscore Chance underscore love after lockup up for Taylor. And then of course my Facebook is just Chance Pitt. Um, but I would get like a lot of positivity and it's always motivating. Like I would get up, I would like read a bunch of positive comments, and be like, yeah, like I guess I am doing it, and look at it that way. But as soon as you start looking through that negative glass, you're like, oh, am I doing all this stuff wrong? Like, you got to sit down and like look at yourself today and get nothing done. And so, anyway, thanks everybody for the positivity. I know I talk too much,
I
and
love it.
but I'm very grateful for WeTV, because I'm telling you right now, like, I don't think without WeTV and the fan base they provided, I would have, succeeded. Ah, baby, you kicked my arm. But I don't think that I would have progressed as much as I have, just mentally, socially. My social skills are still shot after doing a decade in maximum security prison.
Mhm.
Like, my social skills are shot, my fight game's on point, and other than that, like, I have to learn how to like work and talk and like perform like a citizen.
Mhm. Mhm.
So everybody's been helping me like evolve and shed those, prison skins,
Yeah.
and I just thank everybody for that. It's been
Awesome.
amazing.
I love it.
Hopefully we'll see you guys next year on another episode.
Absolutely, for sure. I'm looking forward to it for sure. All right,
Absolutely.
guys. Thank you so much, Chance. Thanks, Taylor. I hope you feel
Inbox me
better.
anytime, y'all. Peace out. I wear my heart on my sleeve.
Yes. Love it. All right, guys. And
Yeah.
thank you all for tuning in. I know there are thousands and thousands of podcasts out there, and you all chosen to listen to us today. We absolutely appreciate and love every single one of you. Check out Love After Lockup, A Life After Lockup on WETV. Is that what this is? Or WeTV? I call it
It's
WeTV.
we TV. Yeah.
Yes, you'll find it. It's a great show. You'll love it. Check out Chance and Taylor and their remarkable love
Um,
story.
we TV on all black, or we TV on what, TLC? We TV channel. I know that. At any rate, next time Taylor will definitely be here with us.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to have you guys back on. All right, guys. See you all next
All right.
week. Thank you so much, Taylor. Thank you so much, Chance. I absolutely appreciate it.
Peace
Thank you.
out.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.